Hello, Yuta here with a lesson on the front row solo section of Dokokara. This section comes right after the main phrase 1, and all the 4 people in the front row are going to solo. If you could take a look at this chart, you'll see that they're numbered. So it goes from very stage right first, number 1 soloist. They pass it on to the number 2 soloist, which is 2 drums away, back to 3, which is to the right of them, and then to 4, and that ends the front row solo section. The number 1 person will play ka, 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 ka with both hands to set the tempo and the mood of the solos right after the main phrase. So they just go, okay. And then everyone joins in to play the G, starting. Ideally, we want that first hit to be loud. Now, there's 2 ways to play the G. One is to keep a tsuku 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 with no counts, pretty much, so that the soloist has freedom to do whatever they want and can end their solo whenever they want. The other one is to bring back the G that we did in the beginning, the... Okay, and if that is the case, which I prefer, the soloist should play their solos in 4 count or 8 counts chunks so that when they end their solo, they could be on time with the rest of the group. The solo length is not predetermined, so it's up to the soloist how long they want to play for and when they want to end it. The only rule is that at the end of the soloist needs to play the cue so that everyone understands that that is the end, and then they need to pass it on to the next person. Okay, the ending cue is the A part of the main phrase, the part that goes... Once that's done, the soloist passes it on to the direction of the next soloist, and we're using the katsu katsu or tsukatsuka for this. So for example, if I'm number 1, the next soloist is going to be 2 drums over in this direction. What looks like I'm passing it to them is the right hand going katsu katsu, whereupon the next person will receive it and finally get to the soloist. So if I'm playing number 1, it's going to go... and then the next person will receive it. If I'm playing number 2, 2 drums down, they need to pass it towards this direction for 3, so they will go... into the next person. Alright, now that we're done with the explanation, let's put it together by practicing sending and receiving the solos. My drum over here is going to represent number 1 and number 3. Those are the people that are going to end their solo with the cue, okay? And then pass it on to their left. So their right hand is going to go katsu, katsu to send it over to that direction. Right. This drum over here is going to represent number 2 and 4. So at the end of their solo, they're going to send it over to this direction by using their left hand, tsuka, tsuka. Okay. I can't do this by myself, so I'm going to invite my good friend Utah Black over. And we're going to do this together. Okay, we'll repeat the process twice, so I'll send it to him, he'll send it back, and then we'll do that same thing again. My recommendation is that you practice playing Utah Gray, rewind it, and practice playing Utah Black so that you can do all the parts. Okay, so here goes, not too fast. So. Okay, now that we're done practicing sending and receiving solos, let's put it all together at our goal BPM of 80. We'll have 4 Utahs playing 4 times so that you can practice all of the parts. A few things to note. The first one is that, as you can see in this diagram, between 1 and the second soloist, the person that says 3 on it, they need to actually just be able to play katsu, katsu, and have the solo go through them. This is fairly easy, so we don't have to practice it, but you'll see it during the video. Second is that the last soloist, number 4, at the end of their solo, they're going to send it all the way back to number 1. Okay, this is in preparation for the river section that's going to happen next week. And lastly, we're going to take the harder route of not playing the tsuku 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 only G, but playing dots 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 dots, which is 4 1-ienas. Okay, the passing sometimes is katsu 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 3 times, or the passing tsuka tsuka is just 2, so it doesn't take up the full G, which means that when a soloist enters, they're not entering at the top of a G. So what we're going to do is, after the passing is done, we're going to wait for tsuku tsukus until the end of that full G so that they can enter right at the top of the G. Okay, kind of hard in explanation, but when you see it, I think you'll feel it. So don't worry too much about it and just follow my video. Okay, good luck.